Explorers, Kitty Explorer here, and today in this video I'm going to talk about a travel mistake you should avoid as a solo female traveler, which is not controlling your navigation. And I wanted to talk about this because in one of my prior solo travel videos, a female mentioned that one of her concerns about traveling solo is getting lost or not knowing her way around. So basically, not being in control of your navigation. What's crazy, I ended up watching a video by Be My Travel Muse, and in her video, Don't Make These 10 Solo Travel Mistakes, one of those 10 was actually not being in charge of your navigation. And so I want to expand upon what she said and give you 4 tips to make sure you avoid getting lost. 4 tips to take charge of your navigation, and these 4 tips will make you feel a little more comfortable as you travel solo in a foreign land. So I am Kitty Explorer. I talk about all things travel, photography, and sustainability on my channel. So let's get into this topic of avoiding the travel mistake of getting lost on vacation and controlling your navigation. Let's get into it. So the first thing you want to do is, before you get to your new location, if you are leaving your home country, is to figure out your phone capabilities. So that either means checking with your current cell phone provider to see if you're going to have access when you're in that country, or making sure you know where you're going to be able to get a SIM card in that country. So SIM cards are great. If you're gonna be there a short time period, and especially a long time period, it's definitely recommended to get a SIM card, because then you can get a local phone number and you'll be able to contact folks without having those extra fees. But sometimes it's not that easy to get a SIM card, and sometimes since you are possibly there for a short time period, it is not worth the hassle. So it's definitely important to make sure your cell phone works in another country and you don't have insane charges when you call a local number. And so this is very important because you may need to call someone for assistance. You may need to call back home for assistance. You may need to call your country's embassy. And this is very important. It may or may not necessarily help you with navigation, but it is a major tool to make sure you're able to have those navigation features, to make sure you don't get lost. And if you do get lost, you have a way to call your hotel back home, Airbnb host, whatever. So it's very important to have that communication available, and it is something you need to research before you head to that location. So now that you have your phone figured out and it's working in that country, in that location, use ride sharing. Not everyone is good with navigation. I get it. Some people don't understand how to read maps. I get it. It's not worth your time if you're on vacation if you don't know how to read maps. By the way, I know how to read a map. I love reading maps. But I know people who that's just not their thing. That's why ride sharing is very important. And it could be important if you know how to read a map or don't, because you can get to further distances and don't have to worry about the navigation. And what's even better is with ride sharing, you can follow the map on your phone because your phone was already fixed and connected to a local network. And so you're able to see, like, okay, well, I'm supposed to be going from here to here, and I'm able to see that this car is actually going from here to here, and I'm not being screwed over by a taxi that's making me go all like this when it's supposed to be just like this and charging me extra money. Okay, so ride sharing is definitely a good technique, but it's very important for you to look at your location before you're going, because ride sharing companies are different based on location. Uber is not everywhere. Uber actually may be banned in some countries. So you need to look it up to see if Uber is the way to go. I went to Ireland and they used Uber, but it was through the taxi. So that was something good to know. So when an Uber pulled up, I was actually getting into a taxi. Whereas in Italy, they did have Uber, but they're more likely, or the more widely used ride sharing service was FreeNow. And I actually enjoyed it way better than Uber. But anyway, that was the thing there. So it is important to know which ride sharing company you need to be able to use that's going to be available to you when you go to a new location. The next thing that is important for you to have so you don't get lost while you're on vacation is to download Google Maps or Maps.me and make sure you download the map of the area you're going to be in before you leave home. Because when you download that map, it is available offline. So for some reason, if your phone doesn't have service or you're not able to get it connected right away, you will always have a map of the area. So you can easily see if you're getting from point A to B, which is something I had to do while I was in Rome, Italy, because if you remember a while ago, I had a video about how my iPhone just went berserk and I had to end up going to the Apple store, but I couldn't go until later in the day in Rome. So luckily I had my work phone, but I didn't want to turn my work phone on because my job pays for it. So I just went through my, Apple account, downloaded the map offline. So I was able to walk from my hotel to the Coliseum and to the Apple store and able to get there because I had the map downloaded in advance. If I didn't have the map downloaded in advance, I would have been just completely screwed. I wouldn't have known where I was going. Well, I wouldn't have been completely screwed. I could have asked someone, that worked at the Coliseum or at the hotel or something, but those people weren't always going to be there with me to get me from point A to B because there may be a turn or some confusion on the roads at some point. They wouldn't have been there, but the map was there for me because I had it downloaded offline in advance. So make sure you have your map downloaded of the city you're going to be in, of the location you're going to be in, so you always have it if you have service or not. Okay, the last thing that I recommend that you do to make sure you don't get lost while you're on vacation is to look at your route before you go. So if for some reason you don't download the map or you're hopping into a taxi because there isn't ride sharing or whatever the situation may be, you know that you have to go this way to get to your next spot. So one, a taxi is not going to screw you over because you know which way you should be going. And two, if your battery runs out on your phone or something, you don't have your backup, you know which way you should be going. Oh, and three, so if you're walking around your location, you don't have your phone up like this. Which way to go? So you don't look like a freaking tourist and you don't look lost because that is a target. So you want to make sure you know which way you're going and you have like kind of a high level view so you aren't constantly looking at your phone, so you can pay attention to your surroundings and pay attention to people and not look like you are just a completely naive tourist out in those streets while you wander around. So definitely study your map. You don't have to know every turn, every street. You don't have to have it memorized, but it's just give you get you a little familiar with the area so you won't have to, keep looking at your map all the way. Yeah, so when I'm walking around, I actually I have my phone out, but then it's like when I eventually look at it, it looks like, oh, I'm getting a text message or I am listening to music or something. So it doesn't really look like I'm looking at my map when I am. So I'm not holding it all the time. It may be in my hand because I have a ring thing on my phone so I can keep a hold of it, which I don't have it here. Oh, where is my phone? Must be downstairs. But I have a ring on it. So I'll have it down like this, carrying it. And then once my phone vibrates, for me to make a turn or something, then I look up. Oh, and that's another thing. Turn the sound off. Turn the sound off on your map when you're walking around so people won't hear, make a right turn on so-and-so street. This is another reason why you have to have a high level look. Make sure you have the vibrate on so you can feel it when it's time to make another turn in your pocket, in your hand, or whatever it may be. Okay, explorers, my solo traveling explorers, I hope you enjoyed today's video so you can avoid this travel mistake and not get lost on your vacation, honey, because that's just not the way to go. I hope these 4 tips you'll implement, and it will help you feel a little bit more comfortable to make your next solo travel trip. So if you enjoyed this video, make sure you hit that like button. And if you have any questions about this topic, or you have another thing that you do to help you keep in control of your navigation, make sure you leave that down below in the comment box. If you have not subscribed already, make sure you hit the subscribe button and the notification bell so you can stay notified on my future videos to come. And if you're already a subscriber, thank you so much. I truly appreciate it. Make sure you share this video with your friends, family, and your social media network so they can get in on this travel tip as well. And lastly, make sure you visit KetoExplorer.com. I will leave the direct link down below because I have itineraries for sale from my prior trips. So you don't even need to do your full planning. You'll have an outline of things that you may or may not want to do on your upcoming trip. And the itineraries are only $2. I have itineraries from Seattle and Fairbanks, Spain, Italy, and other trips from the past. So make sure you head on over to my site to get that itinerary. Thank you so much for watching. Have a great day or night wherever in the world you are. Bye.